Shane Lynch is staggering onward through a journey into his past as he tries to discover what might have been if he hadn't joined Boyzone at the age of 17. So far we've discovered he illegally copied music and used to live in a cave. But Shane couldn't have us leave Ireland without telling us about how he used to be a Satanist. So we all headed off down to the tattoo parlour to find out all about it.
My tattooing journey's been a hell of one, I think, a hell of one. It's more than just a one-off thing for me. It's a canvas. My body is a canvas. My kind of upper left-hand side is my motorsport. My right-hand side, chest overwards, is music. My left-hand leg has kind of a gambling theme. And I think life is a gamble. You've got dice, you've got lucky, you know, like horseshoes, shamrocks, and also my own hand is on my leg throwing in the dice, so you're the one who makes those choices.
Although a million miles away from his job as a mechanic, Shane's new career as a musician came with its own unique pressures.
Boyzone and stuff had come to its toughest time, where we were most famous, or it was most stressful, or we were working most hours. And my mind went to a kind of a sinister place, I suppose. I got deeply involved in kind of occult, Ouija boards, seances, clairvoyancy, and all of that just kept taking me to darker places all the time. I guess even when it comes to my hands, you know, I've got ropes, I've got chains, and all this stuff kind of represents being bound mentally to certain situations that I thought I could never get out of.
As his fame grew, he began to deliberately cultivate a wild child image in order to keep the public at bay.
I was a shy individual, and how do I not have people approach me to talk to me? Because I didn't even want to talk to people. You know, I didn't want to talk to them because I didn't know what to say to them. And I found power in darkness.
Soon, Shane's dark moods were alienating those closest to him.
So rather than my friends and my family understanding me, they started to fear me, and that's not what I was trying to create. The four other lads in Boyzone, they didn't even know what I was going to do.
It was the year 2000. A borderline simpleton called George W. Bush became the most important man in the world, and fuel protests were causing chaos across the country. But it all quickly paled into insignificance when Boyzone announced they were going their separate ways. Shane increasingly struggled to fill the void.
I was very angry. I was an angry guy. And I can only imagine I was angry because, sure, I didn't have my family and friends around me anymore. I was lonely. So therefore, how do I get out of this? And if there's a dark side, which clearly there is, then there has to be a light side. And I stepped into that journey of God. And the more I went towards the light, is the more I found myself actually being that little bit of a better person. And right enough, a year, 2 years later, as my father says, I came back, I came home.
Bloody hell.
This is a bad leak, all right.
What is it though?
It's oil.
Without a doubt, back in the years of Boyzone, I was a proper little shithead and thought I was bigger than I really was. But that's a learning curve, you know, and it's nice to be able to look back at that. And I laugh at it now for sure, but I have no problem apologising to those who I've upset in the past.
We always knew that pressures were there in the music business, etc., etc. And he was always told, when you get your head together, just come back. He doesn't really like to admit it, but he is at times a chip off the old block. And I always said to the family, he's just going to wake up some morning and go, right, can I say fuck? Because he'll say, he's going to wake up some morning and say, fuck that, and he'll be back. And that's exactly what he did.
When I was travelling the world, one of the biggest things I missed was just being in the garage. The simple things, I guess. And it was great, you know, we're cruising through Berlin and there's this, that and the other, and there's all sorts of beautiful sights we're seeing, and, you know, Red Square, and it's all fabulous. And realistically, all I wanted to do was be back in the garage working on an old car.
I think if I hadn't have went forward with the whole Boyzone project, Boyzone would have cracked on without me. It was just a chance. So coming back and working in a garage would have been perfectly fine for me because of how I was reared. You know, if you don't achieve, you crack on, you find something else. And this was my dream, not being a pop star. Right, standing under this car here now, this is my dream. And this is all I ever wanted to do. So this was good enough for me.
Yeah, I'm in the top of the field.
Taught him well. An eighth of a turn. Problem solved.
Switching off.
Ah, leave it running just to be sure,
All right.
That seems to be the problem solved.
Shane Lynch's journey into his past is almost at an end, and he's happily returning to his new job as a drifter.
Quick roll call. Declan, Keith, Shane.
Yep. I don't think I would have had the pleasure to be in this league of motorsport without Boyzone. I started racing cars properly about 98, 99, and then somebody asked me, did I hear of drifting? I've seen it, I've heard of it, but I didn't actually think it was full on real until I arrived in Silverstone on a practice day, and my jaw just hit the ground. I could not believe what these guys were doing in these cars, and I had to learn, I had to know how to do it, I had to become a drifter. Ever since then, really, I've never looked back. This is my fourth year in a drift car, and I love it. It blows my mind. I think what I've got out of this whole journey was pure appreciation. Being allowed to revisit your past is an amazing thing. That's an opportunity that nobody really gets. Like, if I wanted to step back into a garage that I once worked in, grass that I once cut, as the man I am today, it's a great thought, it's a great idea, but no one actually does it. I haven't loved every minute of it. I have truly enjoyed a lot of it, but to be allowed to revisit it, I got a lot of positivity because I liked my past. I liked the person who I was. I reckon so I'd be very, very happy just being a car mechanic in Ireland if I didn't know anything else. And I know that I wouldn't be part of any race team if it wasn't for Boyzone. It's above and beyond all my expectations, and dreams do come true.